Hi guys, welcome to today's video. Today is Friday, May the 10th, 2024. It's actually my mom's birthday, so I want to wish my mom a happy birthday. She's passed away back in 2006, so just wanted to wish her happy birthday, and hopefully she's watching over me. And also today marks another special day. Today is officially my 10th year since graduating from pharmacy school. So 10 years since graduating from pharmacy school. So yeah, been a pharmacist for 10 years now. So I thought it'd be interesting to make a video today of why I quit my job. I quit my job back in 2020. And of course it was $100,000 paying job at the time. When I left, I was getting paid $64 an hour. But I wanted to dive into why I decided to quit my job and just kind of see how it led me to where I am today. So yeah, getting into it. At the time, there was a lot going on. I was with my dad. He was he was going through cancer, colon cancer during that time. But beforehand, he was he was a hardworking guy. He wasn't he didn't have any formal education with him, but he just worked really hard with the company job. After some time, towards the later years, he bought a chicken farm, and so he owned a chicken farm. It started out with four chicken houses, then he built two more houses, so he had four plus two. Then it was a total of six chicken houses. The first four were a little bit smaller, but the next two he built were a lot bigger. But I remember just being inspired by him because he worked really hard, and he was making at that time with the six houses close to 300,000 a year. And it got me thinking a lot. Like, wow, my dad, he just worked really hard. Didn't go to college or high school. I mean, he was born in overseas in Southeast Asia, so that just really inspired me. So just seeing that what he could do without ever having a high education, it really motivated me. It made me think to myself that I need to do something more with my life. And so when he eventually he sold his chicken farm, and then went through a bunch of other stuff, but just won't get into that. But he was successful with that, and then unfortunately, he ended up having colon cancer and passing away. But just from him, it really motivated me to do something greater with my life. So when I was working, I was doing pretty well. I was always a high productive worker. At the time we would get reports run weekly, and it would just kind of show where I was at. Was I working hard? My productivity level was always just up there. So after a while, I was just working, and then I just felt like I needed to do more with my life, especially seeing with my dad. So I, just trading, just working, conking in, conking out, trading your time for hours. So basically, trading your time for money. So getting paid $64 an hour. Of course, get your benefits, your 401k, your health insurance. Everything was good and smooth, and it wasn't stressful. But at the time, I just felt like I needed to do more. So I remember when I was still working before I quit. I was working. I was doing. I was selling on Amazon via Amazon FBA. So that's fulfillment by Amazon. So basically, to cut the story short on that, I would sort products from China and then have it shipped to the Amazon warehouse and sell on Amazon. And so it's definitely a lot of work, a lot of things to learn and figure out on your own. But at the time, I was selling two products. I was selling infused water bottles. So what that meant was that the bottles, people could put fruit or vegetables or whatever they want to put in the bottle, and in a separate section of that water bottle, and then you would add water to that water bottle, and then it'll fuse into that water, and it'll just be like flavored water essentially with whatever you wanted to add in that water bottle. So I was selling that, and then I was also selling whiskey chillers, or basically they were metal ice cubes. So basically these metal ice cubes, you would put them in the freezer, and once they get obviously really cold, you can add it to whiskey or your drink, and of course that makes the drink cold, and so it doesn't melt. So you're thinking about using an ice cube. Well, ice melts, it dilutes your drink. So the purpose of this was not to have your drink diluted as with versus ice cubes. So I was selling those two products. It was actually pretty interesting. The sales were pretty good. But the issue is that sometimes if you don't keep up with the inventory, or there's like delay in shipment or delay in manufacturing from the manufacturers in China, then you would run out of inventory, and then that just hurts the listing. It gets pushed down, and there's a whole list of issues. But some of the things were, yeah, just dealing with inventory, shipping from China to the warehouse. With the whiskey chillers, eventually it got flagged by Amazon because they were kind of considering that as being like an adult product, essentially because of the being kind of associated with alcohol. So it kind of moved my listing down even further, or more like a restricted type of listing. Um, but my from what I remember at the time, it was like a side hustle. It was a lot of work, but Amazon would cut about 40%. So they would, whatever sales you got, Amazon would cut 40%, and they would, that's like their fee. Also things like for the ads, it was called pay per click or PPC at the time. That would sometimes you have to play with that, and sometimes you spend a lot of money on there and you wouldn't get much results, but sometimes you would get results. So it was kind of interesting. It was hard to figure out at the time, but I did that for about a year, and then I stopped. And what else did I experience with? Oh, and during that time, I was also doing real estate at the time. And so with real estate, it's at the time I was thinking. Let me see there from my experience. I had good credit. I had some money saved, and so looking for deals was kind of hard. And for me, I was living in the southeast at the time, and I guess for where I was living at the time, I felt like the area was okay for real estate. It wasn't like at the time it wasn't booming as I would like. So instead I at the time I was dating, I went and visited the Midwest a lot in Missouri. So that's where I invest in the Kansas City area. So just going there, I got familiar with the area, and it's growing, and it's just something that caught my eye. So that's where I invest in the real estate now. It's just in the Midwest in Kansas City. And so just some things from my experience in investing in real estate, that it is hard to do, especially when you're at the time I was investing out of state, because you got to have a team. You got to have a good property manager, and that property manager, if they're good, they could connect you or recommend you things like contractors, um, who else? Contractors, and just whoever in the area they could connect you with. It could be like a lawyer, a real estate lawyer, or attorney, things like that. But the property that I have over there, I mean, I still have those going. Right now, I'm not as focused with real estate. It's something I still do on the side, but not as much, because my main focus right now is my current business, which is only the pharmacy, and also the scrub shop. So digging into that, what happened was eventually when my dad he passed away, it was kind of a wake up call for me. It was essentially it was a lot to take in. It was a lot to take in. I was basically like an orphan at the time now, with no parents alive. So it was really just me and my siblings. I was married, and I had my two kids, but just thinking about my dad, it inspired me to do something big. So I was thinking about myself, and I was like, okay, what can I do? What can I do? And I just evaluated myself, and I was thinking to myself, like, what? I got this degree, and maybe I can use it and find my own way into entrepreneurship, like a real business. So long story short, I ended up attending workshops and webinars, and just reading a whole bunch of books and trying to learn as much as I can. So at these workshops, I would meet with lenders, other like-minded people, and just kind of learn how the whole process worked. And so I decided to take a leap and do it. And so I just some of the things I remember talking with the lender, and I just asked him random questions. I was asking him like, hey, you know what? If I live on the East Coast, can I buy a business on the West Coast and move? And they were like, yeah, definitely. And so they would tell me that they even help entrepreneurs, like for example, buying. They live in the buyer lived in New York, and they bought a business in California, and so the lender gave them money to buy that business, and they relocated from New York all the way to California. And so I was like, dang, well, that's really interesting. Other things that people don't know about is that they don't really necessarily look at you. I mean, they do look at you, but not as closely. They really look at the business. And so if you're trying to get money to buy a new business from scratch, and there's no financial statements or tax returns or nothing, they're not going to really want to give you any money. But if you buy an existing business that, hey, you know what, there's a track record, we can see how the business has performed in the past. We have, again, tax returns to look at, and we have other financial, statements or whatever they can look at. And so that was something that the bank was just saying that, hey, you know what, an existing business, that's easy to loan money on. And so that, made me realize, you know what, that's the route to go. Because obviously, buying just having experience from starting a business from scratch and then buying a business that's up and running. I mean, on day one, the business that's already running, you get that cash flow, and money just starts flowing right away. And just thinking about everything else, there's systems in place. You have the employees already there. They already, for the most part, they know what they're doing already. You have the customers already there. The marketing, it basically you don't really have to market it. It's already existing, so it's not like a new business. But of course, just remind, I guess, whoever that's in the area about your business. But the point is that it's not a new business, so you're not starting from scratch, and for the most part, the community is already aware of that business. So it took about a year for me to feel ready. Just learning as much as I can, these workshops, and so after about a year with the research, I started looking, and then I remember what the lender said, and his advice: just find a business that is really busy, and obviously that makes good cash flow, and go for that. Don't try to just start a business from scratch and and figure out from there. That's usually not the way to go. It's more risky. So again, just trying to minimize your risk, taking on a big loan, find a business that's really busy, and then yeah, go from there. And so yeah, that's how my story ended. From quitting my job to having my own business. And so I ended up moving from the East Coast to the West Coast. And again, the reason why I did that was because of just thinking about it. I'm originally born in California, so going back to my roots kind of felt like it was kind of like a late homecoming. So I'm back in California, and then just doing my research on the state. California, yeah, it does have its issues, but the economy of California it's huge. It's bigger than the majority of other countries in the world. So the economy is huge, and it's very diverse. Everything from farming to tech, healthcare. I mean, it's got all that. So I felt like California, even though it's got its ups and downs, the ups just outweigh the downs. And so I went there, and yeah, and bought a business. And then of course it's been about a few years now, and I ended up buying my second business there as well. And so far so good. I just want to think about my experience, really, to share that it was definitely hard work in the beginning. There's a lot to learn, and I tried to just absorb as much as I can from the seller, from the previous owner. And so just learning as much as I can, and then figuring out whatever I needed to figure out, and then just trying to be give the best customer service as I can, and put myself out there. So for these healthcare the business I have, it's healthcare, it's a pharmacy, and then the scrub shop. So really, I think in the end, it's all about just putting yourself out there. So for my pharmacy, I do all kinds of stuff. If I need to go give vaccines, or if I need to go give some sort of med trainings, or just being convenient as possible, I do that, and then just putting myself out there, and then letting them know what we do. And then yeah, I've grown the business quite a bit. When I first bought it, the business, the revenue was over 3 million, and then now the current revenue is 5 million right now. And so I grew about 2 million in the past, you can say about 4 years. So it's been a heck of a journey. And then I'm hoping within 10 years I can just eventually maybe sell the businesses, and just kind of take it easy, and just kind of go from there. So we'll kind of see what happens the next 10 years. So yeah, I just want to make this video today. So really just to talk about why I quit my job. Is really just my dad. He just inspired me to do much more, and I just felt like I needed to go out and achieve something greater. And plus, in the area where I live, it was very quiet, and very calm and peaceful. But then I just felt like I needed to experience living in the city or somewhere bigger. And so yeah, it's where I am now, and then we'll see how the next 10 years go. Um, Hopefully, you enjoy this video, and like and subscribe, leave a comment, and then yeah, good luck to your journey if you ever decide to become an entrepreneur, a business owner. It's very hard. It's and also very rewarding. And then you don't know what you're capable of until you actually get in there, and then and take on the challenge. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, and yeah, and it's Mother's Day this weekend, so to all the mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. Thanks.